Greetings, Magic fans. Welcome to my monthly MagicCon update video. Today's video is going to provide some updates on MagicCon Amsterdam happening in June 2024 and MagicCon Las Vegas happening in October 2024. I brought out the MagicCon Chicago playmat from last February and some cards that are signed that I'm going to sort today while I talk about MagicCons. I figured both topics go hand in hand. I like to go to MagicCons, get cards signed, promote the artists, and then make content about the cards that I got signed. And so some of the updates that I have for you are not very different than last month's updates regarding MagicCon Amsterdam. That's still June 28th to 30th, 2024. That's now 2 months away. It's still pretty much sold out. All the VIP and Black Lotus badges are gone. If you are hoping to go to MagicCon Amsterdam, you're gonna have to buy single day passes for Friday or Sunday. And I think Saturday is completely gone. I think Saturday is not looking very good chances of getting in if you don't have a badge. So don't book flights to Amsterdam if you don't have a badge. There are still 9 artists signed up, including Elena Danner, who did Jeweled Lotus, and Jason Rainville. That is currently about 1/5 of the artists that signed up for MagicCon Chicago. So about 20% of the size in terms of Art of Magic. I don't know if it's going to get any more broader than that, but I think it might be just a nice intimate event with maybe 10 artists and, I don't know, 5,000 players or something smaller like that. Not the tens of thousands that we saw in Chicago. And then MagicCon Las Vegas, I have some updates for that event. That is 6 months away from today. It's in October 25 through 27, 2024. And we're hoping artists like Dan Frazier will be at MagicCon Las Vegas. A lot of the old school regulars, also a lot of modern artists will be there as well. So if you go to the MagicCon MTG Festivals MC Vegas website, it has some information. Applications went live yesterday for MagicCon Las Vegas. They're looking for content creators. I applied for this content creator badge like I did for Chicago. I did not get the Chicago badge, but I've picked up a few followers since MagicCon Chicago. So I'm hoping that the fine folks at Reed Pop will select me to go to MagicCon Las Vegas and provide some content for the event. I plan to do the same stuff that I did at all the other MagicCons and just kind of talk to the artists, get some cards signed, do some strategy videos leading up to the event, and some coverage at the event, and then post wrap-up videos after the event, talking about what I got signed, what I wish I would have done differently, and to help everyone else out that's going to the event, trying to conserve energy and save money. The content creator deadline was April 21st, so that will have passed by the time this video goes live. And hopefully within a couple weeks, I'll let you know if I do get in as a content creator. If I don't, I'll plan on just buying a badge and being there to support as well. The other deadlines to point out is that the Art of Magic deadline is June 2nd, which is about 2 months, less than 2 months away. So any of the artists that have not applied to be at MagicCon Las Vegas in October yet, you have about 6 weeks, I think, to apply to the MTG Festival website and get your name in for MagicCon Las Vegas. The community panels, suggestions for what the panel should talk about, those deadlines are July 14th. And finally, the cosplay contest is a little closer to the event. That deadline is September 29th if you're interested in participating in the cosplay contest and dressing up like your favorite Magic the Gathering character. The rest of this video is just some signed cards that I picked up that I thought were undervalued, also extremely rare, hard to find. I did pick these up to kind of talk a little bit about them and show you what they look like and what to look for if you're buying signed cards. And then I have another video with some other cards that are not signed that I plan on taking with me to Las Vegas. So I'll make a second video when I do next month's update on Las Vegas and show you what I plan to bring with to Las Vegas. All right, so the first card that I'm sleeving up today is Hyperion Blacksmith. It's from Legends from 1994, and it's signed by Dan Frazier on the card. Very nice card. I do think it was underpriced. The card itself is about $5, $6. And then the price of the autograph signature on the card usually enhances the value of the card price by a few dollars. But when I was in Chicago, Dan Frazier charges $5 per signature. This is the medium point Sharpie or the thin Sharpie, full signature, Daniel R. Frazier. Sometimes he signs just DF. I think he stopped doing that, but there are a few cards out there that have DF on them. He signs quite frequently, but so I felt like for this card, the price of the card with the signature was less than what I could spend to get a blank card signed by Dan Frazier at the next MagicCon in Las Vegas. So, so in order to get cards signed by Dan at a MagicCon, you have to wait in line for at least an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then you pay $5 per signature. So depending on how much you value your time at, perhaps waiting in line for 2 hours is worth $100 to you. So if you divide $100 by all of the cards you got signed, that increases the cost of your signed cards in your signed collection. This is another example. This one is Osai Vultures, also from Legends. I just felt like these cards were 30 years old now. They were signed by a Magic legend, Dan Frazier. I think this particular card was probably $3. So the card itself is not worth anything, but the signature I think is worth at least $5 to $10. $5 just is the cost to get the card signed by Dan. Maybe add an extra couple dollars for your time and investment of booking a flight, maybe paying for a hotel, standing in line for 2 hours. That all costs something, plus you have to feed yourself while you're at the MagicCon. So all of that costs money, and it goes into the value of these cards, which is why I think maybe like $2 to $3 is kind of undervalued for a signature. Continuing on, this is also from Legends. This is a Quagmire by Dan Frazier. The Legends set is a very large set. There's a lot of cards that I think I remembered that were in the Legends set, but I just haven't played with or looked at very closely. So this particular card is an enchantment, and creatures with Swamp Walk may be blocked as if they did not have this ability. So I was able to find 2 copies of Quagmire. Quagmire is also a card that was printed in the Sorcery set, Alpha Beta. So there is some crossover between Sorcery. I'm just, as you know, fascinated by those similarities. Moving on, I have another stack of Dan Frazier cards. These are all Port Inspector from Mercadian Masks, and I had several copies of these. Again, these were like $2 back when the going rate for a signature was $2. But I feel like, the minimum for a Dan Frazier signature should be $5. That's just me. Let me know in the comments if that's how you value your signed cards. But if the going rate is $5, I'm gonna say that it should enhance the value of the card by $5. Over time, I think the artists could increase their fee for signing cards. I think the MagicCons are gaining popularity. There's obviously tens of thousands of people that are traveling to these events, waiting in line to meet their favorite artists, willing to pay tens, if not hundreds of dollars to get a stack of cards signed. And so all of that adds, intrinsic value to these collectibles. And so I think for that reason, these $2 Port Inspectors, should be like $10 someday. And should there be any events that cause Dan Frazier to increase, his signature fee, like if he goes to $10, or if inflation keeps happening and card artists start charging like $15, $20 to sign cards, then that means that this is the time to get in on the signed card market. The next card is Abby Matron. This is from Homelands, It's a really weird set, but it's drawn by Mike Kimball, and Mike autographed both of these. These are two variations. Back in those sets like Fallen Empires, it was common for the artists to have multiple artworks. Sometimes they're listed as version A, B, and C, or D, depending on how many different artworks were commissioned by Wizards of the Coast. So this is Abby Matron version B, and I just like Mike Kimball's signature. It's really classic, it's clean. I don't think I have any Mike Kimball signatures, but I did see a few artist proofs posted by Mike himself on the Facebook. And so the other thing I wanted to mention is that comparing artist signatures to their artist proofs, if you can't go to the convention and get their autograph on cards in person, that's how you know it's genuine, authentic, if they sign it in front of you. But if you're unable to travel to an event, the next best thing is to get it directly from the artist if they have a website or a sign by mail, or to check their artist proofs, because a lot of artists will sign copies of their artist proofs before they sell or give away their artist proofs. An example of that is this Lure of Prey, which is a reserve list card from Mirage. This was signed by the artist Andrew Robinson. There's a lot of artists that do just a few cards for Magic and then don't do any cards in any of the modern sets. So Andrew Robinson is one of those rare artists where he's got some really great cards in the old school and in like vintage era, pre-modern, those kind of sets. And so the cards are collectible, but there are not very many signatures compared to like Dane Frazier, who signs hundreds of thousands of cards. Andrew Robinson probably has not signed too many cards. Similarly, here is Paolo Parente, just an awesome artist. I like his signature. It's just unique, different than, and you can still tell that it's his signature. So I'll put that in a sleeve. This is from Tempest and was printed in 1997. Then I have, similarly, D. Alexander Gregory did some cards in Weatherlight. This is a Well of Knowledge. Very played, very loved card, but you can see that D.A.G. signs his signature on the side there in the text box. Again, you can find artist proofs of this card available. Some of them are on eBay. You can always compare signatures to the artist proofs to help verify that it is indeed that artist. RK Post also signs a lot. So I found a few cards that I thought were also underpriced. This Urza's Armor is an uncommon from Urza Saga, and it's just signed in the text box by RK Post. Again, RK signs quite frequently. Here's another copy of Urza's Armor. So I found a ton of these cards available on this particular site and picked up a few copies. These two are in great shape, but I'll put those in my RK Post collection. RK was at Chicago. He did not get into Amsterdam, but he's hoping to get into Las Vegas, and his line is always long. He's a very popular artist. He signs pretty quickly, but he likes to sell tokens. So people in line for RK Post, you know, they take some time to pick out which tokens they want to get signed. RK always has new tokens at every event, so people spend a little bit of time catching up with him. This happens to be Urza's Destiny Shooting Star foil. Twisted Experiment. I picked that up. I thought that was just a nice, clean looking foil card back when foils actually meant something. This is Torchling, also by RK Post. I thought this reminded me of his Morphling card that he did back in like the Urza's block. This was probably from Plane Shift or something like that. But it's a shapeshifter. I'm gonna put this one in a red sleeve now that we're sort of in the modern card frames. So I'll put colored card sleeves. And then I have a Fulminator Mage. This was signed by RK Post and numbered. So I noticed more recently some of the most popular cards, RK is numbering them. So I thought that was just kind of cool. Again, this was probably like a $2 or $3 card, which is what the signatures cost in person if you go to an event. So this just saves me, I don't know, maybe like an hour or two of my time, which I would probably value at like $100 or $200. Therefore, saving money by finding these hard to find cards online saves me a little bit of time at the conventions to catch up with friends and artists. This is another cool shooting star foil. We'll add that to the collection. It's an envelope from Judgment. It's a counter spell. It counters target sorcery spell, and it was signed by the artist Don Hazeltine in the art box. Love it. So I'll put that in a blue sleeve for the collection. Put that over here. Few cards left. I have Steve Argyle, who signs quite often. This happens to be a Slave of Bolas. It's a multicolored blue, red, and black. So he signed it in purple, which is the color of the artwork. And I like that the signature is just super slick, just in purple pen. It matches the color of the art. Highly recommend matching that up when possible. We also have Ancient Amphitheater by Rob Alexander. This is a dual land from one of the more recent sets, Commander 15 it looks like, and it looks kind of like Standing Stones or Stonehenge, but it's cool. It's signed in black. Rob signs quite frequently, but that was an easy pickup. And almost last but not least, we have Lodestone Golem. This is by Chris Ron. Always one of the most popular artists at the MagicCons. Lodestone Golem is also one of his most popular pieces, so I found this and picked that one up to add to the collection. And last but not least, one of our favorites, Jeff Miracola did this Rampant Growth from Double Masters 2022, I believe, and it's signed in silver, kind of a green card. If I had a green sleeve, I'd put it in there, but the black also matches with the card frame. So that's all the signed cards that I have picked up this week. I'll add those to the collection. I'll post this video on YouTube for anyone that's going to Amsterdam in 2 months or Las Vegas in about 6 months. Subscribe to the channel if you want any more Las Vegas updates, MagicCon updates. I'll provide those. Hit me up if you're in Vegas. Catch up with me in line. We'll get some artists to sign some cards. And leave a comment below if you have any tips or tricks for getting cards signed at MagicCons. Let me know what you think. Appreciate everyone for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, everyone.